Happy Sunday, everyone. Well, I've got a story to share, and I'm going to try to make it quick because I know listening to long videos makes it harder. But 6 years ago, on November 28th, I was working at the hospital on Thanksgiving Day, and I was attacked by a patient. He had DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, and he had never been aggressive at all. But that day, he was going after other patients. He had to be sedated, and we cannot be aggressive when patients are coming at us. Regardless, we have to learn to defend ourselves. Anyway, at dinner time, he had tried getting this man that was in a wheelchair, and I got him away. We had him over in the corner eating his dinner. I put this man's dinner tray down, and as soon as I took the lid off, this man hit it, and it went into my face. This side of my nose right here, I don't even have cartilage in it anymore. This tooth right here, busted in half. My bottom teeth almost went through my lip. After that happened, I ran to the nurse's station. The charge nurse had the audacity to say, "Why didn't you guys control him after he had been flipping tables, hurting people, having food aggression? All she did was give him food, which made all the other patients want more food and ask why he got more food at snack time." So it didn't help any. Finally, after I was attacked, which changed my life forever, because this nervous tremor that I had did not act like this until my head got pushed back and I had contusion. I had to go through physical therapy. Then the light duty that I was on, I got put in the behavioral health unit in the emergency room. That is where the most dangerous people come into the hospital, and they had the audacity to tell me that that was light duty. That wasn't light duty. The girl that I was sitting with pretended to be staff from the hospital, calling the police station saying that she needed her clothes and her items that they took. And when I motioned to the nurse that she was, to come here and told her what the girl was doing, she hung the phone up, and that girl, boom, right in her face. I said, "I'm not going to go through this again." I did a week's worth. Well, actually 2 weeks, because I only had to work 3 days a week. And went through some more therapy, and I ended up leaving when COVID hit. It has been hard because every time when the 28th comes, especially when it lands on Thanksgiving like it did last year, it brings up those memories of what that guy did. And even though his baseline, his mentality was that of a teenager, and he usually always came in and was laughing, and, you'd play music and he'd be happy as can be. Someone, wherever he was living at that home, was doing bad things to him. And that is what is so hard about people that have mental disabilities, because they are not protected and they can become violent in a second. And due to that reason, I left. It took me a while to find another job, but I found one for Anthem, and I was getting ready to go back for my master's degree, and my mom had 2 strokes. After her second stroke, she was no longer able to live alone. I was hoping after a few months of therapy and her getting back to talking and walking right and chewing and not being on a thickened liquid diet and pureed food, that she would be able to, but unfortunately in August of 2021, she had her 3rd stroke, and it paralyzed the entire right side of her body. I knew then that she was going to be with me for the rest of her time here. Well, that's a little about me, and some days I have bad days with this shaking. My neurologist says that it's from my sleep apnea. I do have a CPAP machine, but if I have caffeine, it makes it really bad. I had a little bit today instead of taking one of those pep up pills that I should have, or perk up pills that I got off the TikTok shop from Trish Brew. I drank a little bit of not Orange Crush. It is Sun-Kissed Orange, and it is 0 sugar, but it actually has caffeine in it. And just a little cup like this is enough to get me. That's why I am very excited about those Perk Up tablets. But that's part of my story. That's why I left the hospital, and I thought that I really was going to retire from that job and that I was going to be a counselor there and I was going to help people. But I can say this, I did help many people that did not want to be here anymore and told them how wonderful they were. And I know that depression is not something you can just step away from and say, oh, I'm just going to be positive and everything's going to be good, because people with real depression cannot just snap out of it. And there's a difference between having seasonal depression or going through a grieving depression. But people with real depression, like my mom who suffers from bipolar disorder, which was called manic depression when she was originally diagnosed with it. That's one of the reasons I kind of went into this field. I've always wondered why people did the things they did, and always thought of it more in a law type thing, like CSI and Criminal Minds, that sort of thing, profiling. I thought about going into that career, but I was too old to get into the FBI. Anyway, I hope everyone's had a great Sunday. Sorry I rambled so long, but I've been putting off sharing this story, and it is part of who I am, what changed my life 6 years ago, and why I am where I am now. In the future, when I have time, I am going to start selling things on TikTok Shop myself. Right now, I just don't have the time, and I do get paid for some of the hours that I take care of my mom because she uses Consumer Directive Services, and basically that means you're the employer, but her insurance pays for her health care. There's just a company that manages it called Paraquad, and they're very big in St. Louis. And the man that started Paraquad was actually a paraplegic himself and needed help. Have a great day, and I hope everyone has an awesome start to their week tomorrow. Love you guys.